In this video, I'm going to explain exactly what it takes to make it to the top. And even though I'm not there yet and I haven't reached that level yet, I'm going to explain what I have learned and what I've now understood, and a belief that I have now grasped, or it's become one of my beliefs, that no matter what happens, no matter what negative thing happens, no matter what mess happens in my business, or no matter basically no matter what happens, I'm gonna be able to continue moving forward without losing any confidence in my ability to reach the top. So here's exactly what that is. Anyway, what I tweeted a year ago, 6/16/22, I said, no leader who made it to the top ever said, and I quote, "It was easier than I thought and took less time." So just think about that for a second. Nobody who has ever made it to the top ever said it was easier than I thought and took less time. Now, when you think about that's like, that literally can take such a big weight off your shoulders, because immediately you're like, well, it's supposed to be hard. Like, it's hard right now. Like, I'm going through all of this shit right now, and it's not easy. It's hard, and it's not working all the time. Like, there's things that aren't working. But it's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be that way. All of the top people in the business world or any area, sports, athletes, business, freaking entrepreneurs, whoever it is that has made it to the top in their field, they have never said it was easier than I thought and took less time. So it is supposed to be hard. It is supposed to, I don't want to say it's supposed to suck, but it's supposed to be hard, and you're supposed to go through things that it's not going to work. But the thing here that is important to understand is that you cannot fail if you never stop. So if you take on the belief of for example, get rich or die trying, the idea behind that quote, and I love that quote, is the fact that the person who says that and really like grasps it and like lives by it, they're basically saying, I will not stop. Like, I will not give up. It doesn't matter what happens, how many businesses I have to try, how many failures I have to go through, how many times I have to climb back out of rock bottom. It does not matter. I'm literally going to get rich. So I'm either going to keep trying, and then all of a sudden something sticks and works, and then boom, I'm rich. Or I'm going to die before that happens. But no matter what, I'm not going to stop until one of those two things happen. And the idea behind that is like people are so scared of failure, you know? And I even talk to some of my friends and people that I kind of just talk to in general, and help, you know, because obviously we're all going through, like, my friends are building their businesses and everything, so we're all going through this. We're all going through these mindset blocks and limiting beliefs and all these things. So I talk to some of these guys, and something that comes up is obviously like that fear of failure and everything. And everybody's got that fear of failure. I mean, when I was racing motocross, like, I realized after a long time, I had such a massive fear of losing that it actually kept me from winning. Like, that fear held me back so much, and it's the same thing with the fear of failure. But the thing is, and what I explain, is that you literally cannot fail unless you stop. Like, if you stop and quit and decide to throw in the towel, then you have failed. But as long as you don't stop, it doesn't matter how many times something doesn't work. Like, if you try this, boom, doesn't work. You try this, boom, doesn't work. You try this, boom, doesn't work. As long as you, like, kept going and never stopped, you have not failed one time. You have literally just found multiple ways and multiple things that just happen to not work. But you haven't failed. So that's, like, the whole idea behind that fear of failure is literally, like, it's made up in your head, and as long as you never stop, you literally cannot fail. Like, when you understand that and grasp that, it takes a major weight off your shoulders, because now you don't have to fear failure. Because now you're kind of like, well, I know things aren't going to work all the time. But that doesn't mean I'm a failure. That just means that I'm learning and I'm figuring out things that don't work and things that do work. But as long as I never stop, I can never fail. So that's why I love the quote of get rich or die trying, because it's literally like, I'm going to fail as many times as it takes. Or actually, I probably shouldn't say fail. I'm going to try everything possible, and I'm going to find every way that it doesn't work until something works. Or I'm going to die doing that. Like, I'm just going to keep doing it until I either make it or I'm gone, you know? So when you approach it that way, like, you literally cannot fail. And then when it comes to no leader who made it to the top ever said it was easier than I thought and took less time. That literally is like telling you it is supposed to be hard, it is supposed to take a lot of time, and it's supposed to take a lot longer than you think. Like me, for example, when I first started in business when I was 15, I was the most arrogant and like honestly dumb kid ever when it comes to like what I thought was possible. Because when I first started, I started in drop shipping, and I saw all these gurus online and they're making all this money and all this shit, and I was like, oh man, like I was building it up in my head, and I was like, I was 15, and it was like 6 months before my 16th birthday. And since I live in the US, when you turn 16, you get your driver's license, and that's when I'd get my vehicle. Well, my dream vehicle at the time was a Toyota Tacoma. Like, that's what I wanted so bad. And I think a new Toyota Tacoma, it's probably like, I don't know, $35,000, $40,000. I'm not 100% sure on that. I could be completely off. But it's something around there, you know? It's not like, it's not pocket change. So at least not at the time for me. I didn't have any money. But what was funny is that I'm 6 months away from my birthday and from getting my first vehicle, and I had never started a business. I had never made any money, and I discovered this thing called dropshipping, and I learned a little bit about it. And then all of a sudden, I went around telling my parents and my family and myself, and I was like, I'm gonna buy my first vehicle. Like, I'm gonna buy that Tacoma by the time I'm 16, 100%. Like, no doubt about it. And guess what? Did not happen. Not even close. We did not make nearly enough to be able to actually do that, and we actually failed a lot along the way of doing it. And now, roughly like 3.5 years later, we still haven't made it to the top, but I would never call myself a failure. Like, I would never say, like, after the past 3.5 years, and I'm only just getting started, after the last 3.5 years, after all the things that I have tried that haven't worked, and all the goals that I've set that I haven't hit, like, for example, buying that Toyota Tacoma, like, looking back, I'm like, Jesus, how dumb were you, dude? But regardless, after all of those things, I would never say that I'm a failure because I haven't stopped. If I decided to stop right now and I was like, you know what, I'm done, I'm over all of this, I'm gonna throw in the towel, I'll go do something else. I'm just gonna go get a job here or whatever. Not saying jobs are a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, getting back to my main point. As long as I don't do that, as long as I don't stop working on what I'm doing and stop improving, then I haven't failed. Like, literally. Like, I'm literally just constantly improving and learning new things, and I'm just taking on that approach of get rich or die trying. And I also understand that it is going to be, if you flip that quote that no leader who made it to the top ever said it was easier than I thought and took less time, if you flip it around, then basically what it says is it's going to be harder than you think, and it's going to take more time than you think it's going to. So if you understand that, and you also understand that as long as you never stop, you will not fail, and if you can take on the approach of get rich or die trying, or at least the concept, like, it doesn't have to be get rich, it can be, for example, get fit or die trying, like if you want to get in shape, or become the best tennis player of all time or die trying, like whatever it is. In my case, it's get rich or die trying. So as long as, if you can take on that belief, then literally, and you never stop, you can never fail. And if you can also just understand it's going to be harder than you think, and it's going to take more time than you think, it takes a lot of pressure off your shoulders, because now you're like, okay, it's supposed to be this hard. Like, it's not supposed to happen fast. You know, like it's supposed to take a long time and it's supposed to be difficult. So then when you are going through difficult times and things are hard and things aren't working the way you thought they were going to and things are taking longer than you thought they were going to, then you can think back to that and be like, this is how it's supposed to be. Why should I get upset? Like, this is how it's supposed to be. I just need to keep moving forward and never stop. And it'll take as long as it does. And I'm going to go through a lot of things that are going to be hard and difficult and aren't going to work and all of that. But as long as I never stop, I can never fail. So yeah, but I think that I kind of touched on that as much as I could. Sorry for the rambling and going like back and forth with certain points, but hopefully it made sense, and it's just something that I think is really powerful to think about and understand. And when you can really grasp the idea and you don't like put all that pressure on yourself of literally like, I need to do this super fast. And by the way, one last point, I am not saying to be patient. Like, I believe obviously things are going to take time, and when it comes to patience, I think it's important to understand things are going to take time and it's going to take a little while to get things going most of the time. But when it comes to patience, I also don't think that you should just wait. Like the whole quote of good things come to those who wait, that is the biggest load of crap ever. Like, when does anything good come to somebody who waits and sits around? The only thing that maybe comes to somebody who sits and waits around is freaking like fat. Like, they'll just get fat by eating pizza and sitting on the couch all day. Like, that's the only thing I can think of that, and that's not even good. You know, like unless if you want to be a human panda or something, I don't know. But anyway, what I'm saying is, what was my point? I went off on a rant there. The whole patience thing. What I'm saying is that I believe that you should understand things are going to take time and take longer than you originally thought they were going to, but you should attack as if you need to succeed and reach whatever your goal is tomorrow. Like, you should attack every single day as much as you possibly can to reduce the amount of time that it's going to take to achieve it. But when it doesn't happen as fast as you think it's going to, and you don't achieve that goal as fast as you think you were going to, you need to take a deep breath and understand it's supposed to take a while, and most likely it's not going to happen as quickly as I thought it was going to. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. Hopefully this was helpful. If it was, then feel free to subscribe. If you thought that this was a load of crap, let me know in the comments, and I'll go back and forth with you, and we'll see who's right. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.